From BigHMW.com, World Headquarters at Bishop Park, this is the Atari Report, 5200 edition with Ray Jackson.
Good evening, everybody. On this edition of the Atari Report, we take a look at a really nice rendition of a 1982 arcade quarter muncher. Ladies and gentlemen, Pac-Man Arcade for the Atari 5200 Super System.
Yes, indeed. The hit arcade game from 1982 is finally available in its complete and best form for the Atari 5200 Super System in the form of Pac-Man Arcade. And I gotta tell you, this by far is one of the best ever versions I played on the Atari 5200 of Pac-Man. And believe me, I know the original Atari release of Pac-Man for 1982 for the Atari home computers, the 5200, was fine enough at that. But this one clearly outdoes it. I gotta tell you, fantastic graphics. I gotta tell you, it's right up there with the arcade version. It looks arcade even more than the 5200 version does. And I gotta tell you, it's well done at that too. I gotta tell you, more animation, better graphics, more squared up. It's not rectangular like the original was. But then again, they tried to fit the vertical screen and a horizontal screen at the same time. But I gotta tell you, this is well done. But I have to give it a thumb and a half though, because of the 5200 controllers being a little suspect on this one. Maybe it would have done better if I had used the CX24s or the 7800. But I gotta tell you, this game is well done. I gotta tell you, other than the control issue, she's pretty well done. I gotta tell you, I mean, smooth, it sounds arcade, it looks arcade, and everything else like that. Maybe except for a few, couple of issues here and there with some of the font. But I gotta tell you, it's well done and well worth it. I mean, if you got the money, go to the AtariAge.com online store and purchase the cartridge for yourself of Pac-Man Arcade. Albert Uruso and all the guys at Atari Age are there to help you with all your vintage gaming needs. And if you can't find it there, I've got the download available below for the 5200. There's also a version available for the 8-bit computers as well. But I gotta tell you, this version of Pac-Man takes the cake. Of course, I have yet to play the 7800 version as part of the Pac-Man collection, but I will eventually soon. But I gotta tell you, for the 5200, you can't do any better than this. I gotta tell you, well done and well worth it too. I gotta tell you, like I said, the 1982 Atari release of Pac-Man for the 5200 was done pretty well enough at that. But this one, like I said, takes the cake. Everything is here, and everything is in the correct order and everything else like that. The sounds are in order, the graphics are in order, and it's well worth it. I gotta tell you, this game here, definitely, I gotta tell you, fluent motion. I just wish it could have been better for the 5200 controllers. But other than that, I have no other issues with this. I can't complain about it because it's well done. And I gotta tell you, it's perfect. I mean, it has everything in it. Everything you expected for the arcade version, and then some. And yes, you got some sneaky features on here as well, including, yes, the intermissions are fully included with this particular version, as they always are in every version of Pac-Man, except of course the 1981 2600 version of Pac-Man that we can figure out here. But yeah, everything is in order here. I just wish the controls on the 2600 would have been a little bit better. But then again, maybe if I used my Redemption 5200 with the 700 joystick, maybe I would have done a little bit better at this particular control. But other than that, I have no problems with it. I gotta tell you, well done. I gotta tell you, I do have to give it a half a thumb down because of the shoddy controls a little bit of the 5200 controller. But if you can figure it out, and I have figured it out before, it's well worth it.
Well, guys, what do you think? I gotta tell you, I don't know about this one. I love the arcade graphics and everything else like that, but playing with the 5200 controller and analog controller, especially a non-centering analog controller, as great as the Best Electronics modded version was, it only modifies the gold-plated contacts for the keypad, start, fire, and pause and reset buttons. The joystick, the analog joystick, well, you know, it's the typical 5200 joystick. You could deal with it, of course. I could deal with it myself. I've dealt with it since 1983. But other than that, I think it's a great rendition of Pac-Man. By far the best arcade quality Pac-Man I've seen. And even though the original Atari version for 1982 was pretty good in its own right, this one by far tops it off without a doubt. But I do have to give it about a thumb and a half because of the shoddy controls a little bit. Although they are the analog controls, they are what they are. But I do have to give it a thumb and a half for that particular one. But yeah, arcade quality graphics and everything else like that. I just wish the joystick response was a little bit better than that. Maybe I should have used my Redemption 5200 7000 adapter. Who knows? But I got to tell you, great graphics, great game. If you can deal with the controllers like I can, then that's great and everything else like that. Well, that's game over for this edition of the Atari Report. So for all of us here at BigHMW.com World Headquarters, I'm Ray Jackson wishing you good gaming and good night.